So let's take inventory. It's a perfect day outside. We're still talking Rangers playoff baseball, and we have some great friends here to do it with us. I mean, how does it get better than that? But believe it or not, there's also something more important than baseball. I know. Hard to believe. We're going to talk about it next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. This 12-game stretch against really good baseball teams is so far so good. The Rangers won the series against the Astros. Now they've got one against the Brewers, one against the Mets, and another one against the Astros. We'll be keeping track of all of those as we welcome you into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. John Radigan, Jeff Wilson, and as you can see, we've got a couple of very special guests today. Jon Daniels, former general manager and president of baseball operations for the Rangers, is here. And Anthony Andro, who worked with me at Fox, worked with Jeff at the Star Telegram, and makes fun of JD on a regular basis.
Mutual.
Yeah, that's true. That goes both ways. They're here to talk about Do It For Durrett, but also we got them here. They both know Rangers. We're going to talk Rangers with them as well. We've got the queen over there. Kat's taking care of all this, had to set it up different. Got it all going, and we're awfully happy to have her and have you join us in the chat. Throw some questions out for these guys, particularly in the third segment. I'm looking at the rundown. It says JD spills tea about his past, and Anthony Andro spills tea about Jeff. So that may be a pretty good segment in that deal. So anyway, we do want to remind you as we start about our partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and it's a special month for us. This is our month of being partners with them. And this week, what we want you to do is to be a big, become a big. Last week, we were asking you to donate. We may ask for that again in future weeks. But right now, we would like you to become a big, at least consider becoming a big. There's so many young people in our community, and all they need is that guidance and that spark, as it says there. So let's do it. Let's start a spark and create some endless laughter. There was laughter, there was joy, there was fun at the ballpark this weekend, Jeff, and I thought maybe we'd talk about so many unlikely heroes of yesterday's game, but really maybe of this whole stretch.
I mean, you can go all the way back to opening day, or not opening day, but I guess it was about 2 weeks in when Patrick Corbin made his first start against Anthony's Cubs, and gave up 4 runs, and we're like, okay, he had a 55 ERA the last 4 years. That's not bad. And this guy's been their rock. He really has been. And so he's the original, like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But now, you're seeing Cody Freeman do it, who JD drafted in 2019. And it's fun to see. You see like a Michael Hellman, an Aggie. So Anthony's excited about that. And just a guy who wasn't even in the organization to start the year. Of course, it's not that they've necessarily earned their spot. It's because they have to with all these guys who are out. And you know what? Since Corey Seager has been injured, the Rangers are 6-3.
Yeah, 6-3. That's
since
right.
he had his appendectomy.
Yeah.
So, if they keep that up, they might make the playoffs. And that may be what they have to do.
Yeah, they might need to win at that percentage. When you consider someone like Corbin, JD, and you were in, that whole acquiring, players, pitchers, especially at the end of spring training. The Rangers get him at the end of spring training, sign him for $1 million. We're on this show saying, use him for a couple of starts till everybody's healthy, and then it's only $1 million. What a find, right?
Yeah, it's a heck of a job. I mean, they've really done a great job, not just with Corbin, but with Milner and Armstrong, and they've really thickened up that pitching staff and been able to withstand some of the injuries they've had because of those good picks from and that's everything. That's obviously on the development side. Mike Maddox done such a good job. And Mike does a really good job when guys can command stuff and have multiple pitches, and he's so good at game planning. And so I think that kind of plays into that. But the pro scouting group, Mike Parnell, and the pitching, Todd Walther, I mean, that's a true organizational deal when you make that kind of decision and get that kind of results.
Yeah. He was sitting at his house, It's not even like he was throwing against a screen. I think he was maybe throwing to high schoolers. He might have been throwing to Anthony. Were you down there, Anthony?
No.
Trying to take swings off of him.
No.
But that's an amazing. Again, he had a huge body of work.
Yeah.
Right. And he helped them win the World Series, the Nationals in 19. But still,
yeah, there's some pedigree there. I think it also says something about spring training, right? I think that the young players need it to kind of get ready. They're competing for a job. Some of these veteran guys, I mean, they literally they know how to keep themselves ready. They roll out of bed, and here he is, pitching them in a pennant race.
Well, and this started with you. Like, the Rangers pro scouting has been on a heater for about 7 or 8 years. It seems like just you would find these mid-level guys like Mike Minor and Lance Lynn, but then you're hitting on these fringe guys and these one-year relievers and guys who you just see something. The Rangers were intrigued by what Corbin discovered in the second half. So they looked inside the 5.65 ERA or whatever it was. That goes all the way back to scouting.
Yeah. You look at the heroes of the bullpen when they won the World Series. And, Josh Spore's kind of been hurt before, hurt since, but it timed up perfectly. And Jose Leclerc, and it takes, you need a lot of players and a lot of people pulling on the same end of the rope to give you enough depth to withstand the season, the postseason. And they've done a great job at that. And here they are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now they're 1.5 games out of the last wildcard spot. The Tampa Bay Rays.
Rough weekend.
Rough weekend.
Yeah.
But right there. And I don't know if it looked like it might not be a good, it might be a flat September as far as drama, but now it's tight as tight could be with 4 teams. The dang Orioles they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're playing great right now, and you guys have to play them still.
Wait, what is it? 4 teams within 2.5 games? I think.
Yeah. Well, the Royals have. Well, this might be. I might need to hit the refresh button.
But between Seattle, Texas, Kansas City, and Cleveland, and we're a game and a half behind Cleveland, I think, or the Rays are. It is going to be a hell of a race down the stretch.
Yeah, and I've been looking at everybody's talking about the Rangers schedule, the Brewers. Great. Mets, great at home. But every team has a tough stretch. The Astros are going to Toronto right now. That's their next series. You guys are playing the White Sox. Okay. Yeah. They're better.
They are better. They're competitive.
But then it's Cubs, Blue Jays, Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a stretch.
Blue Jays again, I think, to finish it. Right?
Yeah, right at the end. At Toronto.
Yeah.
No fun.
At the same time, I was looking the other day at San Diego, and San Diego they appeared to have this really soft part of their schedule. They went, I think it was White Sox, Orioles, Rockies, and I think they won 4 out of 10 against those. So it's you never know, obviously.
Yeah, it's something else though.
Anthony, JD mentioned there. I gotta bring you in somehow.
No, I'm good. I'm
my
just
old
listening.
My old Fox buddy.
I'm happy listening.
No, JD mentioned veteran players, and they've said it for years. Think spring training is overrated. Jeff thinks it's absolutely the best time of the year. And I assume since you two were together as long as you were, you probably have fond memories of spring training as well.
I wouldn't say together as long as we were. That might imply some other things. We had 2 bedrooms.
Did you?
2 bedrooms, yes.
For sure.
Yeah. So Jeff and I lived together for 4 years, four springs.
Right.
And we had a great time. The first spring we thought we were like college kids. So we thought it was I think I brought an Xbox with me, and we were going to just have fun and stuff. It didn't work like that because every morning it's monotonous, and you're out there. It's Groundhog Day, and you're just going, and you go there and you stay there, and then you hope you get to the bar at night, and then you start the process over again. But spring training was fun for us, and it was a good learning experience, and you got to see and meet so many people. When Elvis first came up after the trade, we saw Elvis, we saw Saltalamacchia, we saw all those guys after the trade, the big trade, the Teixeira trade that brought them in, and so we were able to kind of follow that all along, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. JD, of course, made that Teixeira trade. you were a teenager when you became the general manager, I think. JD, did you ever bring an Xbox, though? I don't think the GM's got time.
Yeah, I was almost able to drive at that point.
Yeah.
But, Anthony said he hoped he made it to the bar. Was there a night you didn't get to the bar?
Well, I mean, it was me, Jeff, and TR were pretty consistent. We knew where we were going.
Laundry night, maybe.
Yeah, for TR. Jeff and I didn't have laundry nights.
Yeah, we punished our livers pretty good that year.
Yeah.
Especially that first year.
Oh man, yeah. I remember Case and Gabbard. You guys had one off day that spring, and damn, Case and Gabbard had to pitch in a minor league game on the off day. And TR, I don't know where you were, but TR and I went to the bar the night before, and it was a rough one on me. I think TR was par for the course, but he left his ID at the bar, and so he went and had lunch there. I said, "Oh, what'd you have?" He goes, "Oh, I had a 1 pound mushroom burger." TR, how could you possibly do that after last night? And then we just stood out there in the heat watching Case and Gabbard pitch because he was going to be in a rotation. And we're like, man, this is no good.
Well, what TR started a burrito place.
Umberto's. Yeah, it still stands.
And
Bell Road.
It was the first spring. Jeff was dating. You were dating Jenny at the time.
Yeah, we were about to get married.
There was a food challenge. Which was it? Booties? What was the first place?
It was Fuzzies.
Fuzzies.
This was about year 3.
So
yeah,
and Jeff can eat. I mean, Jeff can eat a lot and quickly. And they had a challenge that was like a monster burger, and Jeff was going to do it. And he got vetoed.
It was a 3 pound burger challenge.
And it's one of those where you get a T-shirt, but you got to throw up first kind of thing. Yeah.
Jenny vetoed it. And I think Jeff and I actually got in an argument over Jenny's veto. I don't think we spoke to each other the rest of the night about that. We had a falling out that night over Jeff not being able to do a food challenge.
You had to eat all the fries too.
Oh, you had them all. Yeah.
And it was a giant tray of fries. I mean, I would have done it. I could have knocked it out.
Jeff,
there's no doubt.
Jeff can when Jeff wants to eat, Jeff can let himself go. He can go.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that about him yet. Although we have visited since it opened already. The Hooters was closed when we moved in here for a long time. We visited a few times and I went down there actually with him and Kat, the queen, and I'm sitting there eating my wings and they're like, bones picked clean, and I'm like, dang, I'm sorry, I'm a slow eater.
Jeff eats with a purpose.
Yeah, that's good. JD, the other great story that we've loved following is the other guy in the 2019 draft. Of course, Josh Young, we all know about, and he had a significant role yesterday too. But this Cody Freeman story has just been so much fun. This kid brings a joy and an enthusiasm to the game that truly is infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember going with Kip Fagg, the scouting director. Went to go see him play in high school in Southern California, and there was a bunch of connections. His brother Tyler's in the big leagues now with Colorado. He's been drafted by Cleveland, and he can really hit, and he's doing some good things. And then Chris Woodward, manager at the time, and now Woody's back with the Dodgers now. He knew the family. I think he played with the dad, so he had some background. We felt really good about the person. He was like a little the little engine that could kind of little ton of energy. Wanted to do everything. Did a lot of things right on the field. A little undersized at the time. We had the bright idea of making him a catcher, which I think we tried to do with just about everybody. Unlike with Kiner Falefa, we actually gave him some time in the minor leagues, and we just threw in there in the big leagues. But he was okay back then. I think they made the decision to move him back to the infield. He's played some outfield, but just a baseball player. And I think the bat's going to come on even more than it has now that he's able to. I think the catching was really physically demanding on him, and now that's they've set that aside. I bet you see the bat come on even more. And
he told us that that relationship with Woody went even deeper to where his dad dated Woody's sister. Now that may not have come up in the interview, right?
They didn't get that in the draft room.
Yeah, that didn't come up in the draft room, but his dad actually dated Woody's sister too. So we better steer clear of that. Sort of selling point, Jeff, right? So we got lots more coming up with these guys. Next, we're going to talk about the Do It For Durrett event. How many annual? 11th annual Do It For Durrett. It's coming up this Friday. These guys, all three of them, are on the board of Do It For Durrett. So we're going to talk about that and get back to Rangers next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
Got to do some ad reads here, fellas. Yeah.
Did we put the little screen up yet, Kat? No, we did. All right. So full disclosure, I got to be quick about this, but JD used to tell me, yeah, you're pretty fashionable compared to all the writers who dress like they don't care. And so I don't know if that's still true for me anymore. But JD, we have this sponsorship deal with Shady Rays. So JD's my fashion consultant. I got 2 pairs of Shady Rays, JD. Okay, there's these.
All right.
Okay.
Let me soak it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get those, and then these. Okay.
I like the first. I like the aviator.
Yeah,
the
the
first
aviator
one.
look is better. I think you can pull that off better.
Yeah.
Does anybody, when I wear these, think I could pull them over? Like
Or
I'm
you
a
like
cop.
a cop?
Yeah.
Or you can fly a jet.
I was gonna say more. It was more Top Gun. I was
Well,
a little more
I love
Maverick.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
I like that better. Shady Rays are fantastic sunglasses. And guess what? If I break these or even lose them, Shady Rays replaces them. They'd fix them, too, if they could on the break part. But it's a great company. They're great glasses. They're JD approved. Even he believes, like I do, they're very stylish. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 20% off. I'm sorry, 35% off.
35% off. It's $20 off your first purchase with Game Time, the secondary market ticket app that we love. Use the code DLS to get that $20 off. Anthony here goes to a ton of concerts with his wife. He's big Dokken and Def Leppard guy from the 80s. And they're still playing. They're still playing despite deaths and amputations. They're still out there. But it's baseball season. It's the playoffs. That's what we're talking about here. The Rangers are in town right now against the best team in baseball, record-wise. You can get your tickets through the Game Time app. It's all-in pricing. You get to see your view that you'll have at the stadium with these tickets that you're going to buy. So go ahead and download that Game Time app. And again, it's $20 off your first purchase with the code DLLS. Terms apply.
All right, so Do It For Durrett, 11 years old now. I remember so clearly the first one at JD and the entire organization, players, all the way up to, were you president at that time in 2014, I guess it was? Yeah. Everybody was fully involved, and it was just such a shock. We lost all of our friend. We were all friends with Richard Durrett, who died tragically and suddenly on a fitness run. And then we wanted to raise money for his family. And the great thing is after that, it took off, JD, to become this organization that has helped so many families who have had tragic losses like that.
Yeah, John, as you said, Richard was in great shape and literally was out for a run, taking care of himself, and he and Kelly had 2 children, and third, Margot, was on the way, and caught all of us just leveled all of us, right? It was our friend, it was our coworker for you guys, and just somebody that we enjoyed being around, and was at a very similar stage of life to all of us. And I think it hit us. First thing was that we just wanted to take care of Kelly and the kids and make sure that they were, in a good spot. And as Richard, nobody's surprised, he had, things lined up and insurance because he was so responsible and organized. And so what we did, we're able to take care of them with a great deal, and John Blake and Eric Nadell and a lot of people from the Rangers got involved, and you guys all did, and the deal at Billy Bob's. And I think the next year we wanted to continue it, and we went to Kelly as a group and said, hey, we'd like to make sure. And she said, listen, I'm fortunate, I'm in a good spot, but there are a lot of other people that go through sudden loss that we dealt with that don't have the resources and the support network that we do. And I think everybody kind of looked at each other and with her inspiration and said, all right, well, let's raise some money and help some other people. And it's taken off from there.
It's fantastic. And Anthony, you were still in our business at that point.
Yeah, I was working at Fox Sports Southwest, and the night it happened, I remember it well. I remember Ben Rebstock with my boss, and I wrote a column that night about Richard, and it sticks with you. 11 years later, and you don't realize it, and you now look at it. Owen, the oldest, just turned 17 years old.
Yeah.
Owen drives, and Owen is it's fun to talk to, and you do crazy things. Like on my phone, my favorites, I have Richard is still my favorite. He's one of my favorites. But the thing is, Kelly saved his phone number, and Owen has the phone number. So Owen texts me with Richard's number. Now Owen texts some random stuff. Owen is
he's 17.
yeah, and Owen will talk about driving and stuff like that. And Owen is the biggest Nick Solak fan there is. So if there's is he still with Pittsburgh in the minor leagues? Do we know?
I got to double check that.
Yeah, but
I don't think anybody availed themselves to his availability.
Owen is the #1 Nick Solak fan, and all that stuff it's just a good reminder of, and he's such a good kid, and it makes sense because he's Richard and Kelly's son, and so it's and Alice and Margot, and it's a sad thing when you think about the circumstances, but when we're able to get together and see them, and talk about Richard and get together and see how the family has grown, it's really, really rewarding for us.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. Jeff, there was great auction items pulled together quickly that first year.
Yeah.
But that has become much bigger. The things that are available in this auction, and I've been to so many of these events, there's great items available in this auction.
Yeah, and that first year, every major league team sent something. Of varying scales. Like the Yankees sent a Derek Jeter bat. The Cubs sent an Ernie Banks jersey, which is now in Anthony's possession. Yep. And the Blue Jays, before everybody hated them, sent a Jose Bautista bat that was so sharp. It looked so nice. It was just a black glossy bat with his signature on it. But anyway,
had it been flipped or no?
It had not been flipped.
No flips.
It was not flip used. But over time, as we get further away from Richard passing, there are fewer players who know him, but the Rangers still know him, and we have Mike Maddox, and probably he play golf with him, and Emily Jones is on our board, and Brandon Boyd, who's the clubhouse and equipment manager, is instrumental in getting all of these things. We just ask, hey, the Yankees are in town. Do you think we could get these balls signed or anything like that? Every team that we feel like something beneficial that could help raise some money, and Brandon doesn't hesitate. And so what you see before us is a lot of Brandon's handiwork, a lot of my groveling, and a lot of what he does behind the scenes, and great stuff. And I think this year we have an extra tie that people would appreciate, is we're helping out the flood victims in Central Texas. We were fortunate to partner with Pat Green and his concert that raised a ton of money, and we get to distribute that money now. The Royals really wanted to help with that recovery, and they donated some amazing items. And of course, Bobby Witt, the local guy, always a good draw on the auction front. So, the stuff that we have before us, it's fantastic stuff. And you want to start, Anthony? I know.
We're talking about about the stuff. Yeah. So let's start, Jeff. Let's start with the most important thing in there, which is the Mike Maddox jersey, because Maddox, and you can bid at the live auction that night. You can bid on golf with Mike. He's been a great supporter for us. And this thing, if you buy this jersey, you're guaranteed to grow a mustache. It's amazing that it can do that, but that's just because Maddox, and it's a team issue jersey, so it's really cool. Right there. I've already started. I'm not gonna lie, I bid on it. Because great. He oozes sex appeal. So why would you not want to have a Mike Maddox jersey?
No, there's no question.
And then this is a Corey Seager bat. And like Jeff said, Brandon Boyd has been awesome, and Jeff picked up all the Ranger stuff yesterday. So we have a Corey Seager bat. We have right over here we have a Corey Seager game used jersey. That is MLB authenticated. So we've got
autographed.
Yeah, and everything. Come on, John. Everything is autographed that we got. Like we don't skimp here. And then like the Cal Raleigh bat. So we cannot. It's obviously been used, but we couldn't afford to match it to a game. But we know it's been used. And then he signed it, and with his nickname, the Big Dumper is on it.
That's great.
So it's if he wins MVP. How often are you going to find something like that? And so that's a great. And we also have, it's not shown here, but if he doesn't win the MVP, Aaron Judge will win MVP. We've got an Aaron Judge ball that's, I think it's $600 or $700. And then Jeff can probably try this on. You look cool with the Bobby Witt jersey, and it's MLB authenticated too from spring training. Yeah, so it's those things are in the Casey logo is loose. It's got his number on the back. It's great. And then for old people like me, and I guess
Yeah, me.
Yeah, me and John.
Yeah.
They're younger than we are.
Yeah.
So, and they remind me I'm the oldest member of the Do It For Durrett on the Do It For Durrett
really?
Foundation board. Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll remind you again a little later.
Yeah, I'm used to
you
that.
forget.
I'm used to that. But George Brett, come on. So, and then we've got Otani. We got Shohei Otani. We got a signed ball from him too. That's already what you said, $800 already.
Last time
Jeff?
I looked, it was at 800. Yeah.
So a lot of really cool things. We have 154 items right now in the auction.
Wow.
And this is just our
auction.
silent auction, which is at 32auctions.com. We have a live auction, which is more of the experiences that you have to be at the event to bid on.
Sure.
And we still have general admission tickets available. Anthony, where do we get those?
Access, you're right. You can go to the website for Texas Live or access.com, and we have co-headliners with Josh Weathers and Rhett Miller. They're doing an acoustic set. They're doing acoustic sets, and then we have George Dunham and the Bird Dogs. They're the opener, and we have DJ Chris Stats. You know, the Rangers.
Yeah.
The Rangers DJ. He's starting us off with music. We've got food for our VIPs. We've got, of course, we've got bars. I'll tell you what. You want me to make a deal? Here's the deal. 10 people find me. Night of Do It For Durrett. I'll buy them a drink.
Wow.
So GA, you got to be a GA.
First 10?
The first 10 people that see me, I'll buy you a drink. Right? We can afford that with
We can do it.
Okay. Yeah. JD says we can do it. So that's good.
And just to touch on the money part again, like everybody, we talked about all the board members and Emily and Greg Denham, and like it is a all volunteer deal. So every dollar that we get from all these auction items from the concert all goes to help, and it's local families that are dealing with, something pretty tragic that none of us want to have to deal with, but it's a reality, in every community, and certainly is in ours. And so every dollar that we get, it goes right back to the community, to people that are really in need, that it helps them. And, whatever they're dealing with, obviously we want to, they're dealing with their grief. We just try to take a little bit of the edge off, a little bit of the stress off in a rough time. And so you can feel very confident that your auction bids and your tickets and the golf tournament, all that, it's going to a wonderful cause.
Yeah, and to the extent that any of it is going to the victims of the horrible flooding on the 4th of July, it's amazing how almost all of us, like, we're 1 degree of separation away from somebody whose family was touched by that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then for our foundation, through the 11 years, every one of us has known a family that we've helped at one time or another, right?
Is that right?
Someone has reached out to us personally that we've known, that we've been able to. We helped a family, voted to help a family this morning. So I've really lost track. I think we've helped over 300 families now. We've raised over $3 million. That's great. But our margins are, it's like a restaurant. We don't have a lot of margins, because the great thing is, once we get money in, it's going out, because there's people who need us.
Yeah. Oh, that's just fantastic. It's such a wonderful thing. And where is it?
So we're going to be, golf is sold out, which is at Grapevine Golf Course. We have 180 golfers, which is the biggest tournament we've ever had. Friday morning, teeing off at 9 o'clock. And then starting at 6 o'clock Friday night, we'll be at Texas Live. So that's when the doors open. We've got the silent auction items will all be there. We're doing a live auction there. We're doing 50-50 raffle tickets. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We're going to be giving away a lot. That's the beauty of this thing, is we have a great auctioneer, Brett Richards, and we sweeten a lot of things. And I stand beside the stage, and he's like, "What do you got?" And we've got great stuff. Even Michael Young. I saw Michael Young at the Rangers game when they were in Anaheim. We just happened to be sitting behind him. And I talked to him for a second. I said, "Hey, Michael, can you give us something for the Do It For Durrett auction?" And he goes, he didn't have anything. He doesn't keep his stuff. So what I did is I got 5 of his rookie cards from the Toronto Blue Jays, Mike Young's rookie cards.
Wow.
And Emily got them, signed them. So we'll be giving those away. And it just Adrian Beltre and all kinds of stuff. So it's really, really rewarding for us. And it's a lot of fun. And it brings the foundation and Richard back into the forefront, which is the most important thing.
That's right. Fantastic. Gosh.
I've got those cards on my desk. I forgot to give them to you the
Thanks.
other day.
Shocking.
Yeah. All right.
I even have the Sharpie still.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah. Right. Well, we'll keep working on that. We've got till Friday to get that done. We've got lots more to talk about with these guys, as we just kind of walk down memory lane a little bit with just the relationship that the 4 of us have shared over the years with not only each other, but with this baseball team. Anthony's not allowed to bring certain things up from the road. It's coming next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
Man, if I'm supposed to do an ad read, why don't you start, John?
Yeah, it's the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Cigars and Conversations. And what a great deal this is at the Casa de Monte Cristo Lounge, and that is September the 13th. It's from 2 until 6 p.m. It's a chance for you to get together with some community leaders, with members of the Big Brothers and Big Sisters board, and with some of us. It's to learn about being a Big. And Anthony, who's sitting right here with us, is a former Big. So, I mean, that was a great experience for you, right?
It was, right. I started, I remember I started with Freddie on September 11th. That was my first day.
2001?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I was coming into the school when Freddie, all the parents were leaving. Freddie's mom wasn't there or anything like that. So my first day, I sat with him in the principal's office for an hour, and that's how we started. That's how I know my day. So I've been with him, and he's still my little for 24 years.
Wow, that's fantastic. You can have that kind of an impact, too, if you'll join us for that event on the 13th.
Yeah, Anthony always talked about Freddie, always. So Anthony took care of him, and these guys want to take care of you, and we want to take care of you to become diehards. Today's it. This is the last day of our football club sale, so you can become a diehard for $36. The normal price is $79.99. You get the free football club shirt. You got one of 3 to choose from. Go ahead and scan the QR code or go to our website, alldls.com, and you'll find all the links you need, 20% off our events, 20% off of the merch, and you get access to all of our stories from Clarence over on the Cowboys, Tim on the Mavs, Sam on the Stars, and me on the Rangers. We've got a lot of stuff to offer, and you have to be a diehard to get it, so become a diehard today.
Yeah, we'd love you to do that. It's great, and we've got special guests here today. Anthony Andro, a former media guy who now is in charge of General Motors, I think. and then JD, Jon Daniels, you all know him, former president of the baseball operations for the Rangers, former general manager of the Rangers. JD, and since we're 3 media guys and you're somebody who we covered, like you were doing it, we were talking about it. I wonder what, you weren't quite a teenager, but you were a young man.
Close enough.
Yeah. How long does it take before one of us asks you a question that makes you shake your head in any given press conference?
It's a sliding scale, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony was fairly quickly.
It was like the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing but great questions.
I would just start with the shake as he got the mic. Like, I think learning to deal with, I don't mean deal with it in a negative sense, but just learning how to interact with the media. It's hard. Like, I had never done anything like that. I didn't play, so I wasn't used to having a microphone in my face and post game and all that sort of deal. And it was a real learning process. And I think early on I dealt with it by just shutting off. Like I didn't want a relationship with anybody. I was afraid of. I didn't want to make a headline. I didn't want to have a soundbite. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And that was before really social media and all that. So even more so now. Then I realized, all right, who you can trust, who you can have a relationship with, where the lines are. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was, just because there's a microphone held in front of you doesn't mean you need to say anything. Right. And once you realize that like you can control the dialogue a little bit, you can kind of, push it directions you want to go. You can't lie. You never want to lie, but you can, you can no comment or you can deflect or, all that. Anthony's sighing over here, like about to tell some story where I lied to him.
No.
But I learned that. I lied to Evan Grant early on, and Jerry Fraley, very rightly so, jumped down my throat, and I didn't want to do that again. So, but a lot of it comes down to relationships, and I think the people that invest in relationships with the media, come out ahead on the other side.
By the way, when I mentioned earlier that JD said the writers don't even try with regard to fashion, I'm pretty sure he meant the morning news guys, not the Star Telegram.
Absolutely,
that's right.
Guys,
Absolutely,
they were as you can tell to this day. Very, very fashionista.
They followed their leader in TR.
Yeah, that's right. You meant TR too. That's right. Forgot about that.
You never lied to me, did you?
No,
no, never.
I don't think I shouldn't have said one lied, but they won't answer. They won't answer a question. Sometimes they would not answer the question directly. Like
Right.
you can, if it's a yes or no question and they give you not a yes or no answer, sometimes we'll be like, huh, what are you trying to say here?
Are you caught on to the head?
No, yeah. I just remember. I
Took
remember
him a while. Yeah.
I remember one time, but I just remember one time, but someone apologized to me in the organization. So that's good.
That's nice. Well, I do think there's a skill, JD, and an art almost to saying words, answering a question, but not saying anything that would get you, or more importantly, I mean, I guess as importantly, or the organization in trouble.
For sure. And there's a balance, right? Because we are in these forward-facing positions of a very public company, right? But we're also talking about individuals and the players or staff or even ourselves that, like, you want to respect the privacy of that too. And sometimes we're asked questions about a player that we might not have fully addressed that topic with the player yet, or it's an injury and we're not at liberty to go into details about it, right? And I didn't want to go full like Bill Belichick and not and just kind of grunt into the microphone and not acknowledge it, but you also you want to respect that piece of it too. That it's not always your information to share.
I think that sometimes people in your position find something, a little piece of the truth to tell without revealing the whole story. And then sometimes people can feel like, well, dang, I was right. I was close. I was right there. But the front office people can say, I wasn't lying because what I said was partially true. It was maybe one ninth of the whole story, but it was still the truth. I'm not accusing you.
Nuggets of truth.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's why Jeff and I live together. That makes sense. Jeff was the voice of reason with that statement right there. First time I've ever said that.
But that is where the relationship part comes. I think comes in, where I can then like circle back on the side and be like, listen, I can't address this, but like you understand what I was trying to say, or clarify something, or have John Blake or a team spokesman, Rich Rice, circle back and make sure that the main facts are clear. But it is sensitive, and one thing that like I wasn't great at is that you're there to promote a product, right? And you're trying to create some excitement, and that's a big the media does that in large part for the clubs. And I wasn't always that wasn't my forte. Like I wanted to be like I wanted to be a boring interview and have it be over and not have any mistakes come out of it. But there are some people that are really good at the other side of it, where they're generating excitement about the team and the product. Did you ever get sort of past that sort of boring part? Like, did you feel like you crossed a threshold and became a little bit more of I don't want to say cheerleader, but a little bit more of a promoter? I got more comfortable telling the backstory for sure. I got more comfortable, sharing more about it. And I think some of it is just when you're there for a while, you have some, the people, but also you have a little more equity with the, people internally, and they know if you do slip up, it was an honest mistake. Early on, I just wasn't comfortable enough to do that. Yeah, and you go back to like you talked about spring training earlier. That's those kind of where you sit there and you're bored. Like you talk to JD or every other day or something like that, and you find out the personal sides about him. Like I remember, didn't your son play honk ball or something like that when he started? And those are the conversations you end up having. Just you can humanize it a little bit, so you get along better and stuff like that. And truthfully, you build trust, right? I mean, JD's talking about the trust. If you don't trust that media person, you're not going to give him you're not going to circle back to him afterward. And baseball is so unique, right? I mean, GM speaks, I don't know how often, but once every couple weeks, once a week, it depends on your personal preference. The manager speaks 2 to 3 times a day, starting in February straight through at least hopefully October, and then you're still doing your radio show. Plus, you look at football. I mean, the GM speaks like 3 times a year. Yeah. Right. And the head coach speaks once or twice a week in season, never in the off season. I mean, baseball is very unique, just in terms of how much FaceTime there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that. I don't say we get tired of each other, but it's like, what do we got to talk about? It's like Chris Young yesterday was in the dugout. And I was like, what do I have to ask him today that wasn't asked 2 days ago? And there's always something, but it's like, now I'm just kind of reaching for straws. And he was talking to other people, and I could tell he wanted to get away.
Sure.
And
sure.
he didn't escape one reporter. You can probably guess who that is. But it's kind of, we do see each other so much, and then a lot of times I won't say we know what you're thinking, but you can get a sense of like what move is going to come. Like, if a guy who's on option pitches 3 innings in a blowout loss, he's probably not going to be the team the next day. And you can get a jump on those things and figure it out. And okay, so Ken Rosenthal breaks that so-and-so, the Rangers signed so-and-so for this, reach an agreement with so-and-so. All right, well, you may not get that story, but somebody may give you, this is the breakdown, $20 million and 22, so on and so forth. And, who are the guys that got traded? They might say, oh, the Rangers are going to acquire Merrill Kelly. All right, great. Who's going? Let's get the back end of the piece. And a lot of guys, JD was really good at that, at helping us on the backside.
Yeah, so along those lines, the guys that are the mouthpieces almost for the league, right? The guys who get those big
national
stories.
guys, yeah.
And there's guys in the NFL, and there's guys in the NBA, of course, hockey, I'm sure, and baseball. Do you ever remember like sort of being told to and or breaking a story to them, or does that come from elsewhere?
Both. Both. I mean, they're definitely have some relationships with some of the national guys. Because of my relationships with the local guys, I didn't ever want to just hand the national guys stuff. But
right.
You kind of it's gotten to the point now where the national guys, the Rosenthals and the Jeff Passons and these guys, like they've contacts every club, right? They talk to a lot of the agents. They talk to guys at the league. They talk to guys at the Players Association. Whereas the local guys are embedded with the team. It's kind of like breadth versus depth of the information. The local guys are going to get deeper. They're going to have relationships with the 12 guys on the pitching staff and on your bullpen catcher, because they're traveling with these guys. They're going out for runs with them. They're having a beer with them. They're having coffee with them. Like, they know these people, and so at least that's how I view it. I think it used to be a little more competitive with the local guys breaking stories. Now I look at it as like the local guys are going to give you some like true insight into the why and who, where the national guys are like in a race to get it on Twitter as quick as possible.
Yep, got it. Yeah.
It
makes sense, and we see it. Yeah.
And then it's gone. It's like 30 seconds later.
And there's no depth to it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, all right, Ken has this, and then 3 guys confirm it and give him credit, while we're now trying to do the stuff on the back end, the more depth stuff. I mean, we're trying to break the stories too, but JD and his successor are very good, probably too good at not answering text messages during the winter meetings and the trade deadline period.
Do you, I'm sure, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway. You still have a good relationship with CY?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We actually, my wife, Robin, and Liz, and CY's wife, the 4 of us went out to dinner last week. So, yeah, we stay in touch.
Yeah. And he's doing a really good job, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I wish he would, lose a few more games so the Rays could sneak back into the wild card deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think obviously the World Series is a different level, but in some ways, like if they make the playoffs this year with Valdi out and Corey banged up and Marcus out and, down years from some of the regulars, because you mentioned Corbin or Freeman or these other guys coming up and, the deadline deals, like, it's almost in some ways like a better story, right? To do it with all this adversity and pretty impressive, and so I wish it wasn't that we weren't head to head competing with them in Tampa, but certainly he's a friend. Pull for a lot of my other friends there.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we've got more coming up. We're going to call it our batting cleanup segment, but it's mostly just going to be continuing this talk. It's fun. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. We will bring up a couple of the topics that are relevant and pertinent to these men. We continue next with the DLLS Rangers podcast. And we want you to join our supporters club. This thing is brand new. Jeff and I have already created content for the supporters club.
It's good, too.
And we sat very close to each other on the couch to do so. So, yeah, well, Anthony knows that's not something strange and foreign to me. So, anyway, but it's really cool. And the kind of thing, the thing that Jeff and I just did about covering World Series is only available to our Hall of Fame and our MVP supporters. It is not an expensive club to join. The thresholds are $15 and $5. And if you're one of the $5 supporters, you get access to those exclusive emojis that you see on the bottom right of the screen. And if you're one of the Hall of Fame supporters, well, you get access to that video, all those videos. Every one of our groups is going to make them. I can only imagine how salacious the ones from Craig Ludwig will be. So become a supporter of us through our supporters club today.
Yeah, and we keep telling you, go ahead and get a shirt. Get some merch if you don't have it already. You don't just have to stop at the free one you get with your diehard subscription. You go to store.allcitynetwork.com. Check out our Dallas collection. You can just buy some regular ones like John's wearing and like I usually wear on days I don't go to the ballpark. They're great shirts. They're durable. Hats are coming. I think I heard a rumor maybe we got a deal with one of our sponsors, Branded Bills.
Oh, good.
Possibly. Whenever it happens, I'm going to buy them all. And wear them every day and wear them proudly. You can get beer steins. You know, it's football season. You got to have something to drink your beer out of when you're watching games. And it's fast shipping even to the far outposts like Waxahachie for John there. Gets the shirts pretty quick. Store.allcitynetwork.com.
Yeah, I won't be getting hats. My head's too big. Not like, I mean, I do have a big head too, but physically,
Okay.
I can't wear hats. I got a big head. So the first thing I wanted to bring up, because I was showing JD the rundown, and I don't know if Jeff saw this. Anthony, I'm sure, remembers the name too. Jeff, did you see what Jake Skoll did last night?
Something for the Bananas or something for one of those teams.
Yeah, so Jake Skoll, a former Rangers first-round pick,
That's right.
was
Wait,
it's okay. It's
who's
okay.
responsible for that?
sometimes, yeah, he might have.
Bud
J-
Selig,
hey,
Tom
JD
Hicks was
admitted.
I deferred. I delegated that those.
He
other
delegated
people,
for other people to pick.
I wanted to take Christian Yelich, but everybody else told me no.
And
It's goal. Yeah.
Yeah, they threw him up against the wall, a la Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, and said, "No, we're taking Jake
I
Skoll."
said, all right.
So
I trust you guys.
Yeah. So
I'd
anyway,
go Yelich, but you guys do you.
yeah, Skoll. Then didn't really turn out quite as well as the Rangers had hoped, but he went and became a defensive back in football at Georgia, and now he's playing for the Bananas. But anyway, last night the Bananas were in Frisco.
Oh,
and he wore a Rough Riders uniform.
okay.
Came out playing for the Bananas.
I don't think he ever wore one with the Rangers.
I don't
Did he
think
never
did.
get that high?
I think someone said it was the first time he's worn a Frisco uniform.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was a great pick.
Well, now look. In fairness to the organization, at that point, they were stuck in bankruptcy court, and the commissioner was very watchful of their spending, which also I think affected the 2009 draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Matt Perk.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, I remember that. And do you go Baltimore?
Washington. Yeah, he turned down an offer from us and went to TCU. Right,
Yeah,
pitched him to Omaha, and then Washington took him. I think maybe a year or 2 years later.
he made his debut with the White Sox, I think. Now he was a volunteer assistant with TCU baseball, and I think they actually might have put him on staff finally.
But football players, they
But
draft.
anyway, yeah.
Because what is Bubba Thompson?
Bubba Thompson's
South Alabama quarterback
Yeah,
now.
quarterback.
Yeah, but I didn't see him on the depth chart to open the season.
I think because he's a freshman. He's
Yeah.
like a 27-year-old freshman quarterback. But they said he's developmental. I read about him last week because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And they're high on him because of his athletic ability.
Yeah. Well, Alabama. When we took him at a high school, Alabama had Nick Saban had offered him a full ride as a quarterback.
Well, you all used to
moly.
draft power forwards. I remember some of those when they have the signing things. They're like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Y'all drafted some big dudes
Large
in some early
men,
round.
yeah.
I remember walking around spring training and like it changed, in the early 2000s probably. You'd see guys, the size of Greg Biggio or Jose Altuve or all these guys running around spring training. And then all of a sudden, every single guy was 6'4", 212 pounds or rock solid muscle. And you're like, what is going on here? But that's partially the development of our athletes in all sports.
I think guys are bigger, stronger, fat. But I think we had like a general philosophy: don't draft anybody that looks like me.
It served you well.
It served very well. And by the way, as we just talked through the Perk thing, may have been not the worst thing that ever happened in the world that he didn't sign, given that he didn't have the career that,
Well, I wonder, he went, he did very well in college in TCU. Like I said, went to the World Series, but I do wonder if he had been brought along a little more slowly with the arm have held up. Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah, it might have. You never know how that development's going to work. As we say, it's nonlinear. Since we have a bat from him on the table, I'll bring up Cal Raleigh. Hit his 53rd home run last night, and Anthony mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the items because they also have an Aaron Judge ball in the auction. To me, it is a no. I don't have a vote. Jeff May, I don't know if
I don't have a vote this year
MVP,
for MVP.
this year. But it's a no-brainer to me that Cal Raleigh is the MVP. Am I wrong, JD?
That's who I wouldn't quite go no-brainer just because I think Judge is having such a spectacular year. His first half was, it was like Barry Bonds 2004 level, just silly. Plus he's playing, Gold Glove in the outfield. Now since he got hurt, second half not quite as strong, missed a little time, not playing, DHing a little bit more. I do think the fact that Raleigh's going to catch 120 games, whatever it is, Gold Glove caliber, throwing everybody out. And he's catching guys. I mean, they have their staff is fantastic. So he's catching big time stuff, and that's the direction I would go with it.
Yeah, it's going to be that one's going to be tough. That one's going to be I like to think voters are very well informed that this isn't the 80s, and that you're seeing games you are seeing West Coast games when the Mariners are playing late, and you have the network to show highlights and things like that. Twitter where you can read everybody's stories, but there's probably 80 points difference in their average. Judge has got the better on base percentage. I don't know. They're both on contenders. I don't know if people weigh that anymore. I certainly do. So yeah, it's going to come down to the wire. But I think Judge has got him by a hair right now in WAR, and if people who believe in WAR religiously might go Judge, but such a demanding position that Raleigh plays.
And WAR does not treat catchers well.
No, and WAR, I've maintained this since Miguel Cabrera. WAR discriminates.
Ooh.
It discriminates against the guys who aren't athletic enough, but the guys who are they're not stealing bases, or they're not fulfilling, lighting up the base running portion of the WAR formula, but they're doing more than what their team expects them to do. When Miguel Cabrera wins the Triple Crown, and people are clamoring that Mike Trout should have won the MVP because he's probably stole 40 bases, while Miguel Cabrera, probably got winded running to first. I do think that, to your point, there are players who are penalized because of who they are physically, but their value is off the charts. I mean, the Mariners would not be where they are without Cal Raleigh. There's no question about it.
Dated reference warning. WAR. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Even Anthony's not old enough to remember that song.
Say it again.
See, they said, JD playing along with you.
Yeah. Was he? You know it?
Yeah.
WAR. What is it good for?
Didn't know we needed that one.
Absolutely nothing.
Who sang that?
JD remembers it.
I have no idea who sang that.
I don't know the group either.
Jeff knows Jeff has terrible music taste, so Jeff might know that. Jeff listens to old music that is just awful, so that probably falls right into what he knows.
This coming from the guy who went to Def Leppard last year.
Def Leppard, Poison, and Motley Crue.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, you're allowed to be, and I know those are some of the stalwarts in metal. I predated metal. I was
Edwin
more-
Starr.
Who is it?
Edwin Starr.
Edwin Starr.
Yeah.
I
Not
guess
have
that
gotten
was
that.
a one-hit wonder, huh?
Well, and we're still singing it, so good and good
Yeah.
for Eddie.
No,
Yeah.
no one should sing it again.
Yeah.
gets
Well,
royalties.
Edwin should. But
not,
yeah.
not you.
Yeah, Edwin, maybe not with us anymore. All right, what else do we want to talk about here? Cal Ripken, 30th anniversary over the weekend of the 21-31. That was so, for me, like, I spelled it differently, so I can't really take total credit for it. My son's named Cal, in large part because of Cal Ripken, who I really never, like, I interviewed maybe a few times. I never really covered much, but I just thought it was such an amazing accomplishment. And they celebrated it this weekend, 30 years, JD. That's I mean, you know, the grind of a long Major League Baseball season. It's unbelievable what that guy did.
I remember watching that game vividly when they took the break and Chris Berman, I think, was doing it. And they what I loved was that they said what happened, then he took the lap around, and there was like not a sound from the broadcast, right? They just let the crowd noise, and I thought it was such a majestic moment in the
Was
game.
that past your bedtime?
That's what I
at that
thought. He was
point?
allowed to stay up late.
You guys are loving that piece. I had I met him one time. It was ALCS in New York in 10, and Thad and I were walking around Monument Park at it was like a rain delay or something. I don't remember. It was maybe it was the workout day or something. And we walked around the corner in Monument Park, and there was just this massive man in
He's
a rain.
huge.
He's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew that, right? He was always a bigger shortstop, but like seeing him, it was kind of like, holy. It was like, sometimes it's like, don't meet your heroes, right? But this was one you were like, he was so kind and cordial. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I saw him the last series in Baltimore. I was going up the stairs from the clubhouse, and he was coming down from his suite with his family. And it was just like, turn. You could get down. We could both make it through the stairwell at the same time. And there's a story, and you've probably heard it. Do you remember the old stairwell at the Metrodome from the visiting dugout to the clubhouse?
Yeah.
There's like a series of like 5 steps,
Oh,
four of those.
Yeah.
And the legend is that Cal Ripken once jumped from
Whole
the
thing?
bottom to the top of all 4 flights of stairs.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the truth or not, because I looked at it and I was like, that can't be real. But TR told me the story. He's like, no, that's what everybody says.
That was a lot of steps, too.
Yeah,
I don't know how many landings they were, but it was like going down into a gravel pit or something. It was awful. Yeah.
Yeah. Corey
So-
Seager, big dude. People don't give him enough credit for how big he is. He is a large guy.
And he was kind of
Not
the
as big as
first
Cal.
one, right? I mean,
Cal.
no
And
more
then
Pee Wee Reese's and, even Ozzie Smith and those. And I mean, this was a big man.
Well, it's kind of like the NBA now, right? You before Magic, there were no 6'9" ball handler.
Right.
That didn't exist.
Yeah.
Right now, every team has 2 of them.
His size. The point guards
Yeah.
are JD size.
They were. Yeah.
That's right.
The Bob Cousy's of the world.
Yeah, slap dribbling up the court.
Socks pulled up to your knees.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just fantastic. Then you talk about amazing. Aroldis Chapman, who of course was a part of that 23 team, has now gone 50 innings without allowing a hit.
It's
It's
maybe
equiv-
50 batters. Maybe.
50 batters.
50 batters.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the equivalent of 2 perfect games, right?
It's almost 3.
almost 3 perfect games.
Definitely 3 no-hitters or 2 no-hitters. I mean, well, wait. 9, 27 batters. Yeah, almost 2. I was
2. Yeah.
Jeff's going to take his shoes off, start counting
Yeah.
his toes here in a minute.
math is hard.
It is
That's why I'm a
it's
writer.
remarkable.
Yeah, and you guys get to face him.
Goody.
You want to talk about a large guy?
Oh man.
I remember the first time I saw him. That was frightening. He is enormous.
Yeah.
Enormous. And but he was very friendly, Didn't say a lot, but he talked during the World Series because he had a big double play, got a big double play in game 3, I think. But just enormous. And now he's, they signed him up. They got him locked up for next year. So you got that to look forward to.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? Hey, and speaking of Thad Levine, as you were, JD, he's coming on our show later this week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Talking
He's
about
Talk about his podcast.
Fellow
Yeah,
podcaster.
I got-
yeah.
Hey, I got to co-host that a couple times. This filled in for his co-host Ryan
really?
Ryan McDonough, the former GM of the Suns, and I got to fill in while he was on vacation. I asked Thad, do I get my fee, my normal fee? And
Yeah.
he said I get a sandwich and a hug.
Now Thad was someone who was good to work with.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That is true.
He was funny. That's funny.
Yeah, he is. He's funny. Bright guy. We'll be thrilled to have him. Is it Thursday, Jeff? Is that still
Thursday. I
set?
need to reconfirm, but he had a checkup with his hip doctor on last Thursday that he forgot about. So this Thursday.
Those are things that we didn't say 20 years ago.
That's right.
I mean, people said them, but not us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I probably do. Remember, I'm old.
Mine hurts every morning. Yeah.
Well, I wish we had more time. It's been so much fun. We want you guys to, the big takeaway from this is that you can help so many families in need through our Do It For Durrett event. But we also hope you had fun as we did chatting with these guys, walking down memory lane, talking baseball, talking about a Rangers team that's still very much alive in this playoff hunt. We thank you for joining us. We thank JD. We thank Anthony. And we'll see you again tomorrow with another edition of the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.